said, come and talk to me. He came home. I said, why are you guys buying pens at 20 kwacha? He said, Mr. President, it's a systemic problem. The stealing is all over, across. Because this pen, someone has to give a contract. To give a contract, someone has to have a share. What? This is what's been going on 10 years. He said, yes. So a pen for 2 kwacha is sold for 15 kwacha, 20 kwacha. How many pens do you buy on average in your area? 1 million. 1 million pens? So 18, let's say 20 kwacha, take a number. This is illustrative. 20 kwacha less 2 kwacha. 18 kwacha money. A military coup, you can shunt out everyone because everything ceases. The government doesn't cease, it moves on. By the way, if you go to Sikanze police station, the average view was that police officers were OPF, isn't it? But how come HH1 in Sikanze police station? It means that in the police system, people want to change. Change for the things I'm talking about. Okay. So I want to end here and say, patience does help. Yesterday we made changes after reviewing, after checking methodically and lining the ducks in a row, making sure that the ministers came first, diversity, unity, reunifying the country, all the promises are on the table, the PSs are coming through, the boards are going one by one, and then within a short time before you realize that, because 3 months is a short time. It's called short term, isn't it? 3 months, 4 months, it's short term. I know a president in another African country, big African country with 250 million people, who never appointed a minister after they formed government for 6 months. I know. I don't want to mention them, but you can do your own research. It is 1 month, 3 weeks. We are on track. I understand the anxiety the people have. I understand. Okay. They are in a hurry. They expect the UPND government to drop the legal changes. We will do that, but we are methodical. We are organized. We want to reduce the mistakes that we're making, but at the same time, making sure that we understand, and people who are being appointed understand the environment. So yesterday we pushed in, ZESCO board is gone. And the next move is not. It is not. Anyone who is logical and clever knows what is happening next. Indian board is gone, Zambia Railways is gone, Zamtel is gone. Today or tomorrow you see more that are going. Now we have put the handles in place. We now understand that that move there will have this impact. But if we don't push the 3 rules of procurement, proper cost benchmarking, no overpricing, right? Deliver, quality, deliver on time, the new people we put in office will do exactly what those who have gone were doing. The bleeding will continue. Zambians being deprived of services will continue. We are reining in on all these variables. That's what you say that, what did you find? I've now told you what we found, and we are determined to do the right thing for the people of Zambia. I think you have been kind enough to me.
I have, because you said 2 or 3 minutes, but it can never be 2 or 3 minutes with you.
Thank you very much.
I just want to put just this point, and then the longer you take, do you not worry that files are being deleted, that things are being done to hide? You don't worry at all?
It's possible to do that. Yeah. It's possible to do that. The good news is that if you are buying something, you don't buy it from your left pocket to put it in your right pocket. And what thieving does, Luchi, a thief is a thief. In the motivation for a thief is not just need, usage value for what they're stealing. It's also greed. And they steal from somebody. This pen, in sharing 18 kwacha, someone is more greedy than the other. And that's why we know what's going on. We already know what's been going on. Someone is talking.
Okay.
And part of the framework we're putting is a toll-free number. It is the community itself, Zambian community, who drove change. That's why we got a landslide, didn't like what was happening. So someone else knows. What would you delete? How much can you delete?
Okay.
So, but it's possible. Yeah. I'm agreeing. I'm admitting, right? Yeah. It is possible. Yeah. But the way we are moving takes into account.
It's also possible that there is sabotage happening as well.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is
the longer
true.
You take.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you that it's not long.
Okay.
I'm just explaining.
No, I understand. I understand. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Let's deal with some of the questions that came in. I'll do 3 questions that came in via the text. And then I'll take calls as well. So let me begin first of all with Mr. Swithenhangala. And he sent this yesterday. He says, in the health sector, one of the biggest challenges we have had is dialysis for kidney failure patients. Oftentimes, consumables for dialysis have run out, leading to kidney patients skipping days, sometimes weeks to dialyze. And in the last months, especially this year, many lives have been lost due to a lack of dialysis. Further, there are a few dialysis units around the country, namely Livingston, Lusaka, Mansa, Kasama, Chipata, and Dola. Yet these machines cost less than the price of a brand new VX. Are there any plans to expand these centers to every district hospital in Zambia and also make sure that consumables do not run out where we have renal centers? So that's question 1. That's from Sweden. Question 2 comes from somebody who wants to find out about NAPSA. And he says, please intervene with our NAPSA contribution so that we can invest in farming now for our children. It is alleged on social media that NAPSA money was being used by the previous government to buy vehicles. And just to follow up on that point is you've made promises around NAPSA reforms. Are those promises will they still be kept? And then the last question on the text, I know I've added quite a few, but
no problem.
Is there a platform put in place where profiles of women resumes can be, this is CVs essentially, can be sent for possible consideration on various appointments? I ask because women don't meet in bars for linkages and they don't lobby. I ask because we are seeing a male-dominated arrangement. This is from Miriam Sabi. So you want to quickly tackle those 3,
yes.
and then I can go through the
now in responding because I think we've laid the ground.
Yeah.
Let me start with the bottom. Last in, first out.
Yeah.
Last in, first out. A principle in accounting, right? One of the principles. Yes, women should send in their resumes, but it's debatable to say that women are being left out, Luigi. But let me say that yes, we should create a platform. My team is listening. They've taken note. Is there a number that person has given?
There is a number I can quickly find.
So if you forward the number to my team, we will reach out to that individual after the program. After the program, different culture, different way of doing things. So, and people should not fear. Let me appeal to citizens. Don't fear to call. Don't fear to give your number. I know in the past you'll be victimized. Going forward under this administration, your number will help us to reach you out and to see if we can follow up for solutions, for remedies, possible remedies. So no fear of retribution. Already the rule of law or law and order we talked about will protect citizens. And this UPND government and this alliance partners and citizens, because it's a partnership with the citizens. I mean, delivering the win we delivered, you have to be in partnership with citizens. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. We will not have retribution as part of the culture. So women, yes, are welcome, and but I have a different opinion when you say women don't meet in the bars to lobby. Women lobby. Women use our wives, fellow women to lobby heavily, and we do bend to the lobbying. So it's a light moment. But I'm saying this government will not discriminate against women. You will see a lot more population of roles, responsibilities coming through for women. But it's also true that the women have not been left out. For the first time, we've done certain things that have never happened in the history of this country. The first woman Speaker of the National Assembly. There are 3 arms of government. One is the executive led by ourselves, this fellow speaking. The second is judiciary, Chief Justice, we haven't decided. The third is Parliament, National Assembly, Parliament, legislature is led by the woman, first ever time. The second deputy speaker is a woman. Very important. Labour minister is a woman. I'm delivering, doing something here. Labour minister is a woman. Health minister is a woman. Information minister, information and media is a woman. Several women have come through. Maybe we haven't pronounced it properly. Given the limited number of women who made it into parliament for different reasons, including violence, which we are reining in to allow more women to come through in elective office. Unfortunately, our constitution, which restricted us from drawing cabinet from inside parliament. Fewer women came through from all the parties. Partially, it was a violent environment, which we are reining in. So we expect more women to come through in the next round, I believe.
There's an argument, sorry.
Yes,
there's an argument around, you have many special advisors. You can randomly pick up the phone and call anybody to be your special advisor. And the argument is, but he didn't call many women to be special advisors.
Let me make a commitment, which my team may hit me after the program, that PS State House coming is a woman.
Okay.
The one who will be in charge of everything around here is a woman. Competent woman. Decent woman. How about that?
Okay.
May return to the subject. Vice President is a woman. There was before in the last government, there's another Vice President, but there was no Speaker. There was no Speaker. So this is of vital importance to us. So the women resumes, you're welcome, but also be prepared to bring merit on the table. Yes, you're a woman. Yes, you're a wife. Yes, you're a sister, you're an auntie, you're a mother. Bring quality on the table. Share in the vision of running a country differently in the way we are doing. You're welcome, but we'll give support to our women. Okay. The NGOCC came here, right here. We had a meeting, we had a good conversation, and we looked at how we will unblock these rigidities that have not allowed more women to come on board, including when we reach there, the constitutional amendments that will allow more women to come into parliament, into the council chambers by quota.
Okay.
So combined with elective office, a freer environment, more women will come through, then I am hoping, which, let me let the cat off the bag. I'm hoping that
you've already committed. You've already committed. You can't go back anywhere.
I'm hoping that when the constitutional amendment comes, we will convince the majority of Zambians to allow women, institutionalized, to have a decent quota at various levels of decision making. If we can make it legal, even if we may not put it in the constitution, but the constitution will indicate so that the secondary legislation, subsidiary legislation, which is I think where certain things must sit, would then come through, but driven by constitutional indication, it will be a good thing.
Okay.
It will be a very good thing. So I think we have to work together. We discussed with the NGOs. NAPSA issues, indeed, we're looking at NAPSA. We're looking at NAPSA. We looked at it from outside with the knowledge we had from business. We're looking at it from inside. I will not say more. I don't want to preempt what's going on, but our commitment to allow pensioners to access part of their pension to be able to invest like is proposed, absolutely will be on track on that. We will do more than NAPSA. We're actually looking at other funds, other facilities that will allow those that are still working, so before they get tired, they get to 60 years old or 55 years old, they could access funds that will allow them to invest so that they become more freer financially, they become self-employed, to some extent employ children. That's why we've set up this ministry. Everything we say here is connected, methodical. What do I mean? The Ministry for Small, Medium Enterprises was designed to deal with these issues, connected. Some people don't see the connection, we see it. We read it, we understand it. So including the setting up of the green economy and the Environment Ministry is all connected to allow certain colleagues at certain ages, certain gender or type or age to access facilities that will allow them to be reasonably financially independent. But let me drop something that my colleagues may be angry with me. We are looking at a mortgage scheme. We talked about it during the campaign. We're looking at a mortgage scheme to empower different people who ordinarily would never be able to afford a house. But we want to do it at an affordable level so that monthly the repayments that are required, which are structured, financial, employer, all of them coming, payroll deduction, in some cases, for those who are not in formal employment, self-employment, a mechanism is worked on for monthly repayment so that we reduce the default rate. Look, we're looking at all those things. And 1 month, 3 weeks, we're doing a great job for the people of Zambia. And when we finalize those things, we don't want to make too much noise now. We're working on it. So you see somebody. So yes to that question, we're looking at it, but it's more we expect to do. And you see that very soon. The Sweden, 100%. I know what Sweden is talking about. Luckily, I know him. I know his situation. I sympathize with people in that situation. I know the COVID advisor is focusing on COVID, but he's a doctor, he's a medical doctor. We need to pick up this issue. Please, colleagues here, and call Sweden after this conversation and say to Sweden, we agree with you. Part of saving money from the thieves, the corrupt, is to put in the health sector, as it is in education, as it is in youth programs. So yes, Sweden. But let's collaborate, because sometimes working with stakeholders, COVID advisor, drives us to solutions which are more practical and allows the limited resources to be used properly. Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that, but and we have no excuse to make because it was the previous government. We're in government now. We have to make it happen. It will happen.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Let me pick. Can we agree that we'll do 5 sets of questions?
Not a problem.
My plan was originally 3,
You're
but
the boss.
let's do 5.
You're the boss.
So that we can allow as many people
You're
to
the
get
boss.
in touch with you. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Radio Phoenix.
Yes, this is Radio Phoenix. You're live. The president can hear you.
Yes, you're speaking to Lushomo Melimo.
Lushomo, go ahead.
Yes. My question mainly for the president. First of all, congratulations to the president. I wanted to find out what his area of focus is regarding to agriculture sector in Zambia. As you have noticed, for the past years, the Ministry of Agriculture hasn't recruited many people, and on top of that, I feel as if the agriculture sector hasn't been given that much attention, because it has got the potential of performing more than it's performing right now. And then my other question would be, how can the president engage us youths who are entrepreneurs in agriculture, because people have been doing so many things on the ground and would love to share our ideas on a national level. Is there a platform for those ideas, or for us youths who are eager to bring in innovations?
Lushomo, thank you very much. 0978-895-895 if you would like to call us. Hello, good morning. Okay, lost you on that line.
We'll do one question per person.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm loving you.
Okay, that's fine. You're the other boss. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name? Okay, if you can just ask your question, Mr. Chibembe.
My question goes to His Excellency. We are all civil servants that are critically ill, and some may need some transfers from one place to the other in the process of trying to access health services. So, I'm just asking when the government will consider lifting the ban on transfer for civil servants.
Okay. Okay. He would like to know when you're lifting the ban on transfer of civil servants. Yes.
Okay.
All right. 0978 895 895. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Luchi?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. What's your name?
Yes, you are talking to Lee.
Lee. Go ahead, Lee.
Yes, bakateka mwabuka shani.
Twavuga bwino bali mulishane.
Twabuka.
Mulishane kunganda.
Akulishe bwino bakateka mwe. Kulishe bwino. Yeah, I think the question, Mr. President, I want to ask you is, in terms of job creation, sir, I think you have heard something on social media saying for the next 5 years, there will be nothing like recruiting police, Zambia, National Service, prisons, and the army. So how true is this issue circulating on social media, sir?
Okay. Thank you very much. 0978 895 895 if you'd like to call us. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Luchi.
Morning,
is that
sir.
Radio Phoenix?
This is Radio Phoenix. What's your name, sir?
Okay. My name is Gregory Tembo. I would love to speak to I've got a question for His Excellency.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Your Excellency, good morning and congratulations on your victory.
Thank you, Atembo Mauka Branch.
President. My question revolves around infrastructure projects. As you may, we've been hearing you from the time you were sworn in that you've been insisting that government projects will have to be undertaken at reasonable cost, like the competitive cost within time, and also with a prescribed quality as set out in the contractual documents. But I noticed that most of the projects government has been undertaking over the years haven't been delivered on time because of the bad payment system from government itself. As you may be aware, Mr. President, government payment system are very bad. You see, most of these, like NGOs, I'll give you an example, pay within 30 days. But governments will have an invoice that will be pending for 2 years sometimes. So the planning system and the payments also affect the delivery of most of these projects. Now my question is, what are you trying to do to make sure that you deal with these predicament payments in order to ensure that projects are delivered on time? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, one last call, and then I'll let you respond. And then, so 0978 895 895. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning, sir. You're live on radio with the president. What's your name?
Yes, this is Pumba Timothy, calling from
Timothy. Yes, go ahead, Timothy.
Yes, I would like just to congratulate our president, and I would like just him to confirm if what I wrote to him, it reached him, Pumba Timothy. And the other thing is that, it is the youth who really were anointed during the PF review, and hence they voted for you. Now, I'd like just to confirm if my letter, which I wrote to him, because there have been no response, and there has been
do you want to tell us what the details of the letter were?
It's okay.
It's okay?
It's okay.
Okay.
I think the important thing...
No.
Okay, no. Okay, all
Ask
right.
him to hold on.
Okay, just hold on.
But Timothy, be happy, man.
No, yes, president to Aminati of Maninga. I was in Maninga, then I was transferred to the letter which I wrote. Now I don't want to disclose it to the public.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Give us your number so that my team will reach you. We will not divulge into the letter because that's private matter, but we'll get your number. Then my team will reach you out.
I can take down the number.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I've waited for more than...
No. Just give us your number. Give us your number. Is it the one? Does it end with 183?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right.
Let me give you the number.
No. If it ends with 183, I'll be able to retrieve it. Let me. Yeah, I know that there's a lot of fraud going on, and I don't want people to accuse anybody of having helped out. Okay, so you've got 5 questions.
I've got it.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, Timothy Mwane, we appreciate your message of congratulations. You delivered this government, and it's your government, it will work for you. Determined to work for the people of Zambia, wherever you are. Now, the letter you've written to us will make a follow-up. I think we'll get your number, and I think it's important to maintain the confidentiality and privacy, so we don't have him to divulge into what the letter is. So my team will make a follow-up, and I think Mumba Timothy will confirm thereafter. So that's for him. Henry Tembo infrastructure projects, the right cost, quality, delivery on time, as the UPND policy framework is, so we can save money for the country to do other things. But he says this has been affected by the poor payment system. I think he means late payments. Late payments. Now, first we will maintain our policy of being prudent, spending public money prudently. That is not negotiable. Not negotiable at all, because we know the value of it. Every Zambian knows the value of it. Too much money was being stolen in the infrastructure. If you look at our debt pile, most of that debt pile is connected to infrastructure. Borrowed money, expensive money, placed it in roads, infrastructure, then the money was stolen from there. So we will not allow that to happen. You can bet. Someone will sneak that. They will continue, as I said, old habits linger on, but you won't do it twice. You may do it once, you will not do it twice. As I said, we will make bad behavior of this nature painful so that society can do the right things. But once we reform this, we agree that delayed payments. But once we reform, we agree that the projects are done at the right price. It means it will reduce the cost. Let me give you one example. I love that example. Lusaka and Ndola Highway was booked to be done at $1.2 billion, when it should cost less than $300 million, around $300 million. So it means $900 million was going to go out. When you book such a project, very high quality, you are setting yourself to failure to pay. Because you can't pay. It's just not correct. The amounts are too huge. They don't reflect the length of the road, 340 kilometers thereabout, the quality that you put in there. You are setting yourself for failure. And if you're a subcontractor on such a road, Luchi, by Henry Tembo, structurally, you will not be paid on time because you have overpriced. So we're going to deal with that. So when we now price at the right level and you deliver quality and you finish on time, you will be paid. That answers the question. You will be paid. And if you are not paid because there's one or two issues, you will be engaged. You don't have to be in the queue for 2 years and no one speaks to you. We'll have a live contract management arrangement. It will happen. Just be patient. Thank you. Next is Lee, job creation, next 5 years, no recruitment, headed from social media. Not true. It is not true that everything you pick from the social media is correct. I want to help Zambians. I want to help. From my personal experience, I make decisions on 3 parameters. First parameter, I hear things. Verbally, I read things on social media, I don't believe them. Then I move to the next category, which is facts. I drift from the mountain of information I receive, because social media is alive 24/7. You check at 02, people are still posting to each other. So the freedoms bring other things, right? People then circulate even things they've just been tagged on. They tag it to many other people, and someone picks that as the truth. No, not right. Move to facts. Then, based on facts, category 3, you can make a decision, or you can now take a position that this is the true position. So, hear things, don't believe them. Find the facts. Number 2, 3, make a decision, or no decision. It's a decision actually, because now you know what is true. In this budget, let me repeat what I said. we are working on a budget we inherited. The only way you spend government money direct, largely through an instrument called a budget. You call it a budget. From my past scenes, we call it an instrument for generating revenue and directing expenditure. In simple language, you call it a budget. Generally, government money is spent through the budget. The first budget is 2022, which is being finalized. The draft will be presented by month end. This month end, first draft of the UPND ever budget. And in there, area you will see, I talked about devolution, taking money from the center. You will see it. Substantial amounts of money. Never happened before in the history of this country. It's part of our transformation, part of our reforms. Give the money to the owners, not to masqueraders privileged to sit in public offices and abuse, even fertilizer. I'll come to that. In there, Lee, you will see employment of, as we promised in the campaign, nurses, medical staff. You see teachers as an example. And we promised. Again, Luchi, tick the script. That's the beginning now. 22 budget is the first opportunity we have. Outside of direct public resources managed through the budget, we're working on what we call off-budget. I don't want to call it off-balance sheet, but I want to call it off-budget arrangements that will allow us to bring programs, to bring projects, facilities through our travels, through our networking. One of the things we're doing, Luchi, is to bring value to this country, to the people of Zambia, through our illustrious business network, developed over years, credibility. I used to talk about it. People were questioning that. Even you used to question me about it. Now you've already seen the value. The value includes us taking a week out, first trip, we come back with 1.6 million doses of COVID vaccines. Nobody does that. Unless you have some respectability, you are networked, there will be more coming. Okay. But there will also be items, facilities sitting outside the mundane public resources in the budget. Okay. But I've made the point by giving an example. Lee, what you heard is not true. Wait for the 29th or thereabout of this month. You see in that budget talking about employing such as nurses, medical staff, and teachers. Debate settled. Debate settled. Shibembe. Some civil servants are critically ill. When will be the ban on transfer of civil servants will be done? Perfect. First, I'm sympathetic to those civil servants that are not well, to those Zambians, to those citizens who we love most, those that drove us, gave us energy to seek public office until they delivered us here. We are sympathetic to all of you and your family members. And we are here to find some remedy, some healing, some solution. The issue, by the way, that's why we want the health services delivery to improve. Critically important, very important. So now, for those transfers, they will be lifted very shortly. Because what we found out is that we were being sworn in, some ministries, some permanent secretaries, some departments were now employing people out of their own discretion, sending people to foreign missions to circumvent us re-looking at this issue. Remember, we said we want to reunite Zambia. And there was a pattern in this country where appointments in the public service and local government was only given to people from 2-3 regions out of 10 provinces. And you could see the mad rush to send people, to transfer people, to promote people. That was mischief. That's why it was placed, that lead was placed. But even now, some people are sneaking in 1 or 2 things, as I said, Luigi. But we're looking at it somewhere reversing so that we can bring equity at that level as well and bring in a bit of merit. I'm being polite here. So that delivery can improve. Okay. So it will be lifted very soon. It was well intended, although some people have breached it, but we're monitoring, we're checking. Some sneak 1 or 2 things. Okay, we'll rein in on that. And the changes you are seeing now coming through include some of the situation where somebody, I'll give you an example. We record some ambassadors and high commissioners, and somebody around decided to record so many other people without the authority, fixing people that they didn't like, and then prepared a list to dispatch to replace those people without recourse to appropriate authority. Sneaking in that's mischief. We dealt with it 2 days ago. That person is gone. It's not that we hate them, but you cannot be mischievous when the government is trying to do right thing. They are gone. There'll be one or two more along those lines, so that we can all stay in line for good reasons. So that one of our dreams, personal dream, which I'm pleading with colleagues to accept, is that 56 years after independence, some families in Kaputa, in Chama, have never had a son or a daughter in a foreign mission. So we want to pluck a family member from the remotest area, some of them, send them in a foreign mission. They've qualified, they've gone to school, but they have no connection in the government, because the government that was there was based on nepotism, paternalistic behavior. But they don't have to know anybody, as long as, again, through this devolution, we'll get to know talent from the local areas across the country. I'm determined, we're determined to bring such a child, male or female, and they go into an embassy, get a training, of course, diplomatic training. You know, we have a diplomatic training school in this country, in Lusaka, deeper there. They get a training. Then out of Kaputa, there is a diplomat who has no links to a minister, to the president, HH, and they're in a mission. That is satisfaction for me. That is equity for me. That is recognizing all Zambians for me. Now, why should someone now push their friends and relatives behind the scenes? That's why we placed that ban, but it will be lifted very soon, for good reasons. Yeah. Thank you, Hichilema. The Lushomo, congrats to HH, thank you very much. Thank you to you for voting and to others. This is me saying to Lushomo now, agriculture sector needs more support. Indeed, agreed. Chaos in there. Chaos in there, where fertilizer FISIP meant for farmers was going to a cooperative set up by people in the system who are abusing the system, and the fertilizer never reaches the farmers. The fertilizer is sold. That's what we're grappling with now. Right now. That's what we're grappling with. Getting a handle. And so when people say there's slowness, I can understand. They are not aware of the things inside that we're trying to clean up. Not trying, that we want to clean up. We are going to clean up. Very committed, very determined, Luchi. So that we can, if fertilizer is meant for a farmer, it must go to the farmer. It must not go to a district agricultural officer through a fictitious cooperative. No. I have answered the question. We want to do more Lushomo in agriculture, value addition. We want to export more to Congo, more meleme. Congo has business for us. We have not been exploiting it. We will exploit it. We've already started. When we were in New York, I met the president of Congo, President Tshisekedi. We talked about trade. We talked about investment. We talked about managing our joint borders, a long border, and that bullets from one border post, Zambian side to the Congolese, or Congolese to Zambia, is not what we want. We are aware of the border issues. We agreed with my brother, President Tshisekedi, that we'll deal with those issues, but more so, we want to improve the trade and investment between the two countries. Again, in line with our mandate, economic reconstruction for jobs, for business. And when is it? I said I'll be the chief salesman, Luchi, when we were campaigning. You were laughing at me. I am the chief salesman. That's why I met with President Tshisekedi in New York to talk about how we can sell more Zambian goods and services. And clearly, we have not been exploiting that opportunity. We've been sleeping on duty. Kule shipula panchito. Awe. Filia kale. Thank you.
Sorry, Lushoma, there's a question the second question that you had. Sorry, it's just
engagement with the youth.
Yes,
fantastic.
Yeah.
I think Lushom has a point. Let's take note of that. We have the Minister of Youth and Sport, and we want to engage Lushom a little bit, and whoever else. I hope, Lushom, you have a few colleagues that you work with as the youth, but we are here for the youth. They put us in office. They defied the ethnic smell, the negativity of the campaign, which was again demonizing a citizen like me and others for a decision I did not make. Right? To be born in a particular place is a crime you must go to jail for. Not in this country. So but that's a sidetrack. The youth are very important. Youth engagement is very important. SMEs was set up for that ministry. There's something going on in Mukula Luchina, where people are abusing the Mukula trees, and we've agreed as a small team in Vice President, myself, a few ministers, and our service teams to rein in on this cancer on Mukula, and where the rampant export of Mukula, the revenue doesn't benefit the country and the youth. Here's an opportunity where in the timber, natural resources, we can bring youth businesses through licensing restrictions and Molochi, you love this, positive discrimination, so that the license go to the Zambians, the youth, the women, and they can do something, including the CDF, the devolution fund we're talking about. We want our timber, our mukwa to be applied to make desks in schools through this devolution fund, decentralization. I stand here, Luchi, and say, we do not want to see Zambian children sitting on the floor in a classroom in a constituency somewhere, because the money is coming next year. Part of that money will be to buy desks for every child in school, and will be monitoring. The fish eagle's eyes will be on you to check why should that child be sitting on the floor when the money has gone, to ensure that every child will sit on a desk, as I did, as you did. So now, there is the youth opportunity there, Lushom, to learn carpentry, welding. The welders that are already there, we want to buy from them. We will buy from them. The constituency should buy from the local youth who are carpenters, who are welders, to fix window frames, door frames. I used to say that in the campaign as an opposition. I'm glad to announce that we are going to actualize that. Tick the script. Be your own judge. Tick the script. That now what we said in the campaign, it will happen now. And we are putting the instrument to allow the youth of this country, be organized. Don't be the new thugs in town. Be organized, cooperative, set up business, including the decision we made to issue mining licenses to Zambians and the youth, so that they can begin to mine. We give them the support, legal mining, legal, not illegal, legal mining, and then give them the technical support so that they don't die in the mining activity. Give them the market. Surprise, surprise. No, it's ordinary for us. People say it's over-promising. What is that supposed to mean? It's doing the bare minimum. And we are doing it. The Minister of Mines has already announced that youth set up cooperatives. We give you the license. We're reviewing the licensing arrangements in the Ministry of Mines. A lot of scams around there. We've had the minister and the team sitting here. When was that? A week or so ago. Unknown to you Zambians, we're already engaging to effect those opportunities for the youth to get a license. But it doesn't end there. Technical support, proper mining methods, safe mining methods. 2, financing. 3, markets. More so, value addition. Look at manganese. I love this subject. Manganese we're mining now. The rock manganese is about $100 per ton. But when we do just semi-processing and we create that capacity, which we're working on already, we're talking with the Minister of Mines and his team already. This State House is a delivery machine. That's what it is, nothing else. To say we can put a processor in Mansa there, where small mines were given to the youth licenses and mining properly, they can take their rocks there, manganese rock, and process tolling fees, it may be called, a bit of value sharing, we can achieve more than $1,000 per ton.
Okay.
That is tremendous. We don't want to make noise. We made enough noises when we were in opposition. Now is to act.
Okay.
We have already engaged. So, Lushomo, the contacts with the youth must be structured as well. We have a ministry, we have SMEs, we have a green economy and environment, we have, even the youth who wanted to replace others in collecting revenues from market. You don't have to do that. Don't spoil your dish. I said it already. Take these opportunities, but be organized as youth. Opportunities are abound. It will not happen in 1 month because we have to do these administrative changes as to who is issuing licenses, how are they issuing licenses, but it's all coming up together. For me, it's a picture that I can see 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead.
Okay.
And let's work together. Thank you.
There's a policy question, so I'll do 3 text messages and then I'll do five more calls.
No problem.
There's a policy question around retirement age. Somebody talking about, this is a teacher, and actually just on that point also when it comes to teacher employment, maybe you can touch on that. But the retirement age, he's talking about reversing the retirement age reversing it from the 60 to 65 to 50 to 55.
Right.
Reversing it from what it currently is to 50 to 55.
Okay.
There's a question as well around land use. Ownership of land needs to be reviewed. Why do a select few have rights to ownership of large chunks of land? Then they sell it to a poor worker at exorbitant prices. The owners of these large pieces of land were in good books with the past regime. It's not fair to treat citizens in such a manner. And just on the point that you were making with Lushomo around micro, small, and medium enterprises, Gilbert says what we need is a strong support institution to implement government policy decisions, other than government be the policymaker and implementer. So, how soon do we expect the transformation to happen? Because it is here where lies the answers to youth empowerment.
Very good.
Yeah.
Can I start with the last one?
Last thing.
Gilbert. The thing is that the policy that we put in place was based on consultations as a manifesto with the public, knowing and being part of the community that these are the things that trouble the community. Isn't it? Very important. And we put a policy, we put them in the manifesto. The citizens went to vote on the backdrop of our manifesto. It means they love it, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That's why they voted for this government and this alliance. Step number 1. Step number 2, we are now in office to implement those policies. Which policies are already in the public domain? They are known. Of course, we'll tinker around, meaning that will improve here and there, isn't it? To take account of variations, changes that have been occasioned by many factors. I don't want to go into that. So, the answer is that we are not going to be just the policymakers and walk away. Let me announce something that has not happened, because it will happen this week. In this State House, doing things differently, this week we are appointing a presidential advisor whose only job is to ensure compliance with policies. This week. Police compliance advisor to the president, like COVID advisor. He will be working with the ministers.
He or she.
He or she. That person. Let's put that person will be working with the ministries, with local government, as we push money in local government devolution to follow through that the water is available for our women, our families, closer to their homes. Right? The green energy is available. For example, off-grid solar for water pumping, for lighting, so that a child in the village, what is it? For a child, happens everywhere, I didn't know. I'm a new occupant here, so I'm learning things. So that child in the village, Luchi, can have access to lighting to study at home in the village through solar power, off-grid. We want to make solar, we're working on making solar reasonably affordable and put schemes that will assess it. It's very important that those things are followed through. And the partnership in terms of implementation, it's not government alone. It's to work with families, to work with the youth. I've already talked about youth companies, isn't it? To work with them, to help them to know the opportunities that are there, and they must uptake these opportunities, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think when we put a policy compliance advisor here to the president, his job, her job will be simply every day to follow through so that such an issue like Gilbert says is followed up.
Okay.
And I think that is straightforward. There's no brain at all.
Okay.
It's but in partnership with the community, with cooperatives, with companies, with the individual entrepreneurs, all over. Because the benefits are the ones, they must trickle to those people. There was an issue on ownership of land.
Yes.
I agree. Can I simply answer this comment by saying I 100% agree with what the colleague has said here on ownership of land. We need land to be available to people of Zambia. During the campaign, we were saying land will be part of what we use as equity for Zambians to bring to the table in a joint venture if they can't work it on their own. But there's a misnomer here, Lucy. Perception that young people cannot be successful farmers. They can be. Let me abuse my children. My children are ranchers. They're young. We taught them the art. They are ranchers in their own right. They sell steers to me. Their dad. I pay them. They can actually pay their own school fees where they are now. Back to the subject I had. Why should they queue for a bursary? They can pay their own school fees. Because it's a culture we were brought up with, and I'm a beneficiary of that culture. Maybe that's why I'm a rancher. At birth, your parents give you a heifer, a female animal. If you know how to nurse it, it works for you. So young people should consider taking farming as a business, and we should support them. And I'm saying that land is essential to be a farmer, depending on where you are. The culture you were brought up in. You can be a rancher, you can keep goats, you can keep sheep, you can keep pigs, you can keep chickens. You can also start farming fish. If you are from Lopula, the water bodies allow you to do that. Western Province, the water bodies allow you to do that. You can farm fish successfully. Today is not the day for me to go deeper into that subject.
Okay.
But I'm only stating that land is crucial.
Okay. And there will be...
In our early economics 110, Luchi, one of the things we used to learn was that, what are the three factors of production? I'm asking you. You don't have to be an economics student. Capital. 1. 2, labor. 3, land. So we want to actualize it. So I 100% agree with this colleague, and it's not just making land available to Zambia. We want to ensure that someone doesn't walk in from a foreign country and tomorrow they are controlling 20,000 hectares of land. Did they carry it in a suitcase from where they're coming from? No. How did they get it? Who gave them that land? Those are the questions we want to answer.
Okay.
Yet a Zambian like you'll not even be given 1,000 hectares because there'll be so much noise in the whole country that Lucha has 1,000 hectares. But a foreigner comes in, has 20,000 hectares. What do they do next? They parcel it, they subdivide it and start selling to Zambians. It will not happen.
Okay. There was
a question on retirement age.
Yeah.
I have heard that.
Okay.
There's a debate going on, 60 years versus 55 years. My team, can we log in that issue, take it to labor, and if it's possible to have a number for that colleague, not because that issue affects that colleague alone. This is a national debate right now. And in the campaign, we heard a lot, people expressing what they feel. And so I think we should achieve consensus very soon, working with the unions, Luchi. Our approach is consultative, working with the Ministry of Labor, working with employers. What is called a tripartite deal, council, platform. Tripartite. What is that? Labor, So we have to talk to workers, including young people, those in employment. And through there, they're represented by unions in some cases, but in others not. 2, we work with employers. 3, and remember, government is also employer, but 3, government. That's a tripartite partnership, and this is a critical subject. It has a lot of appeal to me as an individual.
Okay.
But I'm only an individual, but I have my views, very strong views. One of the things I believe in that if people left early and they're given some support in terms of capital before they even leave and prepare themselves, they will be able to live on their own, and they don't have to stick like a tick on a payroll to a point where they crowd out their own grandchildren at the bottom. So if people left at a certain level, they allow grandchildren to enter into employment and program or age or opportunity, then the more youth come in place. But if people leave, Luchi, we have to ensure that their benefits are attended to. You can't shunt people out and their benefits. So these are some of the reforms that we are working on. Okay. So please take the number. Do you have the number?
I have the number, yes. I'll forward. In fact, what I'll do is, because I came in with 19 pages of text messages. 19? 19 pages.
It's very popular, isn't it?
Yeah. So your team tells me that we have to end at 12 o'clock. So what I'll do is, let me take 3 questions via the phone, and if you can be as brief in your responses as possible. Are we in agreement? Okay. 0978-895-895 if you'd like to call us, 0978-895-895. That's the number you can use to get in touch with us this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
This is Victor calling you from Cincinnati.
Sorry, your name again?
This is Victor calling you from Cincinnati.
Victor, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to ask the president. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Victor. Go ahead with your question. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to ask the president about the coronavirus. Like us who are in the rural areas here, I just want to know more about the president, what he's thinking about us who are in the rural areas. Because we are not vaccinated and it's far from clear to them. What I wanted to ask the president, what he's thinking about it.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Victor. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello? Okay, nobody on that line. 0978-895-895 if you would like to call. That's the number you can use this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello? Okay, nobody on that line again. There's somebody asked a question about small-scale farmers, Mr. President, something that you can deal with in terms of inputs for many of these small-scale farmers. There seems to be a complaint that they're not able to access funding. So I'm hoping that that's something that you can take note and you can you can deal with. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, it seems to have a little challenge going on here. So let me go back to the phone, to the text message here, so that I can deal with some of these. Fertilizer distribution under the fertilizer distribution under Farmer Support Program. Southern, Western, and Northwestern provinces are on e-voucher systems of fertilizer distribution. This means giving a farmer a voucher token system. For fertilizer. The voucher has a value. Last year it was 2,000. It meant that in these provinces, each farmer got a maximum of 3 fertilizer bags. In other provinces, which were not on e-voucher, they were given 9 fertilizer bags, as well as other seeds such as soya beans or groundnuts. These provinces were perceived to be PF supporters. If the new Dawn government does not quickly check this discrepancy, it will be repeated this year. That's a question from somebody. Do you want to quickly respond to those so that you don't...
Yeah, I'll be very quick, Luchi. The thing is that they start with the fertilizer sport. The colleague is spot on. There was discrimination in the distribution of fertilizer in this country. Some provinces To be specific, Western Province were discriminated, Southern Province was discriminated, parts of Lusaka were discriminated against. And some provinces were given more fertilizer than others. We have made a decision that will be fair, will be equitous in this country. And you know why that was happening. It was a political persecution, and it will not happen going forward. We're working on equalization, even as late as this year. I'm saying even as late as this year because this year the fertilizer program, the procurement of fertilizer, all farming inputs were decided by PF. For the first time, in fact, PF decided to give the contract for fertilizer supply for 2 years instead of 1 year in order to lock out UPND in the event that UPND came into office. Mischievous, isn't it? Absolute mischief. So we are working hard. That discrimination was going to continue even in this season. As per plan as we sit now, we are reviewing it only yesterday. Only yesterday. We are working, Luchi. The discrimination is to continue. And although it's a late hour, there are other challenges I don't want to talk about here because we'll be issuing a statement around fertilizer and input support very soon following the work that is going on. A lot of issues I think are coming through. I don't want to preempt that, but I can comment that our attempt, our intention clear to equalize, to be equitable. If I say equalize is wrong, to be equitous is right. Equity meaning fairness based on various parameters. What are these parameters? Number of farmers, right? In an area who qualify, and then appropriate distribution of inputs laws. Certainly we will take away the discrimination. As late as this year, we are working to see how we can ameliorate that discriminatory tendency that went on for years, not for 1 year, for years. And these are the things we want to heal in our country. It was not correct. And when you heard people of provinces agitating, some people who didn't know what was happening were just saying, why are these people making noise? They were being discriminated against. You can't do that to your own citizens. So we want equity across the 10 provinces of Zambia. Equity based on the factors that, one of which I've just indicated here, the number of farmers who qualify, the farming culture activities in that area, all of those factors taken into account. So we're working on that. Going forward, next year, you will see a better program of distribution. In fact, we're working to move away from just fertilizer and seed as the focus. Remember, I think it's Lushomo or somebody who talked about agricultural potential. We want to move towards what we call agricultural support program, which will look at not just inputs, but of course, remember in our campaign, we're talking about working towards lowering the cost of inputs. Very, very important, extremely important, because then it lowers the cost of production, which will help deliver food for our people at a lower price. We're working on those commitments ahead. I'm now going to promises, but commitments to our people. So, now what else? What else?
There was
okay. Around
okay.
there. So going forward, we'll be working on dealing with those issues. But agriculture is of vital importance. Employer, on the farm, processing, revenue, local currency, foreign currency. We know these opportunities, we'll be working towards them. There was an issue on small-scale farmers, inputs, funding is a problem. I think it's connected, isn't it? It's connected.
Okay.
We will make sure that we address those issues, particularly in the next season, which is the first time the UPND and this alliance government will be in a position to direct resources in the needy areas. Okay. You will see that happening. Victor Chinsali, Victor Barishano Koko Chinsali Mkwai, and thank you for calling in. I think he called,
yes,
isn't he? And he talked about the coronavirus, that the rural areas really have not been attended to in the program. I think information, what we do is I ask you to help us with a number.
No problem.
So that Dr. Chilengi, the COVID advisor, can follow up, talk to Victor, get a little bit more information, and through that and other conversations, we see what we do. But our intention is to cover the whole country. Remember Thursday, I talked about something there at the youth center, Commonwealth Youth Center, which was that There is what is called in the kingdom we belong in. The kingdom meaning the animal species, human beings, other animals. So if we are defined as that, because biologically we are, there is what is called in a pandemic situation herd immunity. If you want to achieve herd immunity, population immunity, you need to drift towards the 70% of the population. This is a science that has been proven right over years. So we are moving towards a target of 70% immunization so that we can rein in on COVID. That includes rural areas. So we've been challenged in the past, haphazard management of the program. We are streamlining on that. So I think I would say Victor Mkwai, to allow to my phone, Abanandi, they're listening here, allow to my phone, and so we can get more and see what is your nearest opportunity or facility that people like you can access. But your question is not just for yourself, it's for many other people, including rural areas. I think that Thursday, we talked about that herd immunity. We talked about now broadening, and I'm sure the COVID advisor will announce this. We are rolling out, relaunching the vaccination program and other anti-COVID measures in the provinces, in the districts. Hopefully we'll get to the constituencies and if possible to the wards. And then we are able to reach out to all our people. I thought I needed to say that. Just very quickly, Luchi, if you allow me, we are working on this issue of taxation, because this is related to the income levels that our people can access. And in this budget, I don't want to make too much commitments. I'm looking at what's happening, talking to the Minister of Finance, talking to inputs from stakeholders, that we want to move, at least I know, we want to move towards what is called fair taxation. Fair taxation, balanced taxation, equitable taxation, which in tax theory itself, I used to say it in the opposition. Are you not glad that I'm saying it as a servant of the people? Yes. You remember, Luchi?
I remember.
That once the tax system is fair, is equitable, the theory goes by that you collect more money, because there's no motivation for people to cheat. Now we are in this position, this role, we are working towards actualizing that gradually, and knowing that we don't want to create a distortion, a disruption also on the revenue side. But the truth is that if we get it right, and we tend to get it right, reasonably right, it will bring more revenue, even though it's at a lower rate, even though it is probably. I'll tell you that.
Is that now? Sorry, is that now?
I said we've started already.
Okay.
The budgeting process is
okay,
on,
so this
but
is for
the
now.
road is on now. Okay. The very things we were saying when we were in opposition is what we are doing. Let me give you an example. Some council rates for properties encourage property owners not to pay rates, because the rates are like you are buying a new property. Now, you are creating an environment for default there, but we'll be engaging with the councils. We'll be engaging with lands. I come from a different background. If certain fees, rates, charges don't earn you money, they earn you limited amounts of money. But if you turn the page and look at the usage of that asset and focus on encouraging usage of that land, usage of that building, so you encourage somehow to avoid empty buildings, unproductive assets, you move towards bringing the assets into production, you generate tenfold more revenue. It's a paradigm shift. But we're working because, again, we've not had a military coup where we can come and decant everything. We are looking at a transition period. So this is one we are looking at very carefully, but we know the end game. We know the benefits that will arise. So you watch that space, right?
So does it include personal income tax?
Yes. Pays
VAT.
Pays the whole range. Okay. The whole range.
I feel like you want to say a lot more. Please.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to digress, because you see, all I want to deliver a message is that tax must not be punitive. That's the word I was looking for. Tax must not be punitive. Tax must be collected, but it must be equitable, it must be fair, it must be balanced. And the theory cannot be challenged over years, including the prehistoric times. Remember, there used to be tax even in that time. The chief who taxed their subjects more and was lazy, didn't do any work, but asked for more melemele, more ornaments, more human beings. Slavery started in the family as tax system, right? In the communities. Over time, members of the society gravitated away from that chiefdom into the next chiefdom, where there was a fairer tax system in the traditional days. It hasn't changed now. The form is different, but the theme is the same.
Okay.
So this is the point I'm making. So it's a broader tax system, including, let me dare say it here. Let me say it here. Taxation in the mining system, in the mining sector. We want to create, we pronounced ourselves already. We said it at the opening of Parliament. With a bit of memory, which we've said it everywhere, that we want to ramp up production in the mining sector from the current 800,000 metric tons, plus or minus, closer to 2,000 over time. In order to achieve that, we have to attend to many variables. Mine ownership, bringing Zambians on stream so they can benefit from the assets. More importantly for this subject, Luchi, to ensure that the laws around mining as a sector are appropriate. Policies around mining, regulations are appropriate, attractive. Not to a foreigner. Please, give me a break. To you and me as a Zambian investor. Because the mindset of investment is the same. A return on investment. Right? Otherwise, why would you put your money there? I mean, you'll be kidding yourself. And you won't even employ people. If the business is losing money, you can't employ nobody. It's simple as that. I am stronger in those views now than ever before. And that's why we were put in office, to create jobs. But through investments that are profitable. And part of the profitability comes from attractiveness of the sector, the laws, the regulations, the taxes. Okay. That's where I'm going. Okay. The taxes that are fair. So we are reviewing all of that so that this package is attractive to investors, our own people who will be encouraged, regional investors, global investors, ramp up production, take it to 2,000 metric tons plus. The Minister of Finance has bigger projections, and I share his views, so that we can now realize the potential of this asset, which will improve the standard of living and create more jobs for our people. That's the way it works. Okay. Now we are in this chair, Ruchi, we are in this government, we are driving this very hard, and the benefits will be obvious, unquestionable. Yeah. And that's where the distinction will come from. And also we want to use for example, the mining sector to drag other sectors along. Two reasons, because the infrastructure, to drag other sectors in terms of value addition and the market issues, the demand pool issues. I don't want to confuse the listeners. Thank you.
Your team is going to kill me because we have gone a little overboard. But I want to thank you for joining us this morning. I want to thank you for agreeing, for honoring your commitment to come to Phoenix and to speak to people. Thank you very much.
Luchi,
I can also just say I want to thank you for inviting me to the People's Home.
Absolutely.
I've never been, so this is my first time. So thank you very much. Are you serious? No, I've never been.
Let me tell you, this is when I came into this house, it was my second time ever at my age. But we want to make this house more open. As we declared outside there, this is your house, people of Zambia. These are your grounds. We're just temporary occupants to do a job for you. All the time. Service to the people. We may make mistakes along the way. Our intentions are clear. Service to the people. All the time. Okay. And I want to thank you, Radio Phoenix, yourself, listeners, other platforms that have agreed to cover us on this program. A lot of people were scared. Don't go on radio. You'll be ballocked. People who do this. Hey, a leader must accept ballocking if it's relevant. A leader must be in a position to engage the people. That's what we are doing. But you've given us this platform. Next time it will be another station, another radio or television, or indeed, my team, hear me out, social media. We can also have a program on social media platform so that we engage the people 1 hour, 2 hours. What's the intention? Talk to the people on good things, even on difficult things. Talk to people, walk with the people. That's our intention. This is on the beginning. Thank you, Luchi. Thank you, Radio Phoenix. Thank you, listeners. Thank you to the callers. Thank you to those who text messages. We'll get back to you. God bless Zambia. God bless our people.
Thank you very much.